I noticed that you're barefoot.
How does a Hollywood rebel, once dismissed as a troubled outcast, rise to become one of the most powerful women in the world? Angelina Jolie's story is a saga of contradictions. An actress born into fame yet scarred by loneliness. A daring beauty celebrated on screen yet condemned by tabloids. A woman once infamous for scandal who later stood before the United Nations as a global humanitarian. From carrying vials of blood around her neck to raising 6 children in the public eye, from red carpet triumphs to bitter divorces, Jolie's life has been a spectacle of extremes. But behind the chaos lies something greater, an unshakable will to reinvent herself. So the question is, was Angelina Jolie destined to be a star, or did she create her own legend against all odds? Angelina Jolie Voigt was born on June 4, 1975 in Los Angeles, California, into a family already touched by Hollywood fame. Her father, Jon Voight, was an Academy Award-winning actor, while her mother, Marceline Bertrand, was an aspiring actress who sacrificed her own career to raise her children. On the surface, it looked like Angelina was destined for the spotlight. But behind closed doors, her childhood was marked by abandonment and instability. When Angelina was just a toddler, her parents separated. The split left her with a fractured relationship with her father, one that would cast a long shadow over her life. Raised primarily by her mother and older brother, Jolie grew up in modest circumstances despite her famous last name. Marceline struggled financially, and Angelina often felt caught between privilege and insecurity. At school, she wasn't the glamorous figure we know today. She was painfully shy, painfully thin, and bullied for her appearance. Classmates mocked her braces, her glasses, and her awkward mannerisms. By her teenage years, Angelina embraced a darker identity, dressing in black, experimenting with knives, tattoos, and an obsession with the macabre. She battled loneliness and bouts of depression, at times questioning her place in the world. Yet even in those turbulent years, her mother instilled in her a sense of empathy and artistic freedom. Marceline taught Angelina to channel pain into creativity, a lesson that would shape her future as both an actress and a humanitarian. Angelina Jolie's first steps into acting were almost inevitable given her Hollywood lineage. She enrolled at the Lee Strasberg Theatre Institute at just 11 years old, training in method acting. But breaking into the industry was not as easy as her last name suggested. Casting directors often dismissed her as too intense, too unusual, or simply too different for traditional Hollywood roles. Her earliest appearances were modest: student films, background roles, and music videos, including one for the Rolling Stones. But even in these small parts, Jolie radiated a raw magnetism that set her apart. She wasn't interested in playing safe. She wanted roles that pushed boundaries. Her breakthrough came in 1995 with the cyber thriller Hackers. The film barely made a dent at the box office, but Jolie's edgy presence caught the eye of critics and fans alike. Suddenly, the industry was whispering her name. Then came Gia, 1998, an HBO biopic about supermodel Gia Karangi, who rose to fame before succumbing to addiction and AIDS. Jolie's fearless performance was hauntingly authentic, mirroring her own struggles with identity and darkness. The role won her a Golden Globe and cemented her reputation as one of Hollywood's most daring young actresses. By the late 1990s, Angelina Jolie was no longer just Jon Voight's daughter. She was a rising star in her own right, unpredictable, magnetic, and impossible to ignore. Angelina Jolie's true ascent began at the turn of the millennium. In 1999, she delivered a performance that changed everything. Lisa Rowe in Girl, Interrupted. Playing a charismatic yet dangerously unhinged patient in a psychiatric hospital, Jolie dominated every frame. The role earned her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 2000. Overnight, Angelina was no longer just a rising star. She was a Hollywood powerhouse. Soon, studios looked to her as the face of action cinema. In 2001, she became Lara Croft in Tomb Raider, a character that demanded physicality, stamina, and boldness. The film grossed over $270 million worldwide and turned Jolie into an international icon. For a generation, she embodied female strength in an industry still dominated by male action heroes. Her career momentum was unstoppable. Films like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005, showcased her charm, wit, and sensuality, and it was during this project that she met Brad Pitt, igniting one of the most talked-about romances in Hollywood history. The film was a box office juggernaut, raking in nearly $500 million. Jolie's influence extended beyond action. She proved her versatility in dramas like A Mighty Heart, 2007, and animated family hits like Kung Fu Panda, 2008. In 2014, she reinvented herself yet again as Disney's Dark Fairy in Maleficent, which grossed over $750 million globally and solidified her status as one of the highest-paid actresses in the world. At her peak, Angelina Jolie commanded salaries of $15–20 million per film, topping Forbes' lists of Hollywood's most powerful women. She wasn't just an actress. She was a brand, a fashion icon, and a global star whose every move shaped headlines. But with fame at its height, the pressure around her private life only intensified. And soon, the world's fascination with Angelina would turn into a storm of scandals. If Angelina Jolie's performances built her reputation, her personal life cemented her as one of Hollywood's most polarizing figures. From the beginning, she seemed drawn to controversy. Her marriage to actor Billy Bob Thornton in 2000 became legendary for its eccentricity. The couple flaunted their passion with red carpet kisses and by wearing vials of each other's blood around their necks. To some, it was romantic rebellion. To others, it was pure spectacle. But nothing compared to the scandal that erupted in 2005. While filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith, rumors swirled that Jolie and Brad Pitt had fallen in love, even though Pitt was still married to America's sweetheart Jennifer Aniston. The press branded Jolie as the homewrecker of Hollywood. For years, tabloids painted her as a villain, despite her denials. The controversy only grew when she and Pitt became a couple, raising 6 children and dominating the spotlight as Brangelina. Their union fascinated the world but also invited relentless scrutiny. Every detail of their relationship, from adoptions to humanitarian missions, became headline news. Yet in 2016, Jolie shocked the public by filing for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. What followed was a bitter custody battle that played out in courtrooms and tabloids, tarnishing the once golden image of Hollywood's most famous couple. Jolie also faced deeply personal challenges. In 2013, she revealed she had undergone a preventive double mastectomy after discovering she carried the BRCA1 gene, which gave her a high risk of breast and ovarian cancer. Her openness was praised as courageous, but it also fueled invasive debates about her body and choices. For Angelina, scandal and challenge were constants. She was adored and vilified in equal measure, praised for her strength, criticized for her lifestyle, and scrutinized for every move she made. But rather than breaking her, the storm of controversy only pushed Jolie to redefine herself on her own terms. By the mid-2000s, Angelina Jolie had grown tired of being defined by scandal. She began to shift her identity from Hollywood's wild child to a figure of global respect. The turning point came in 2001, when she was appointed as a Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Instead of the red carpet, Jolie was suddenly walking through refugee camps in Cambodia, Sierra Leone, and Pakistan. The world saw a new side of her, one defined by empathy rather than excess. Her humanitarian efforts were not symbolic. Jolie donated millions to build schools, fund medical centers, and provide aid to displaced families. In 2012, she was promoted to Special Envoy for the UNHCR, meeting with world leaders and advocating for the rights of refugees. This transformation elevated her from actress to activist, reshaping her public image entirely. At the same time, Jolie reinvented herself creatively. She moved behind the camera directing films like In the Land of Blood and Honey, 2011, Unbroken, 2014, and First They Killed My Father, 2017. These projects reflected her passion for human rights and gave her a voice as a storyteller beyond Hollywood spectacle. Through these choices, Jolie silenced critics who once called her reckless. She became a symbol of resilience, a woman who turned controversy into purpose, using her platform not just to entertain, but to change lives. Today, Angelina Jolie stands as far more than a Hollywood actress. She is a symbol of transformation, proof that a person can rise from chaos, endure scrutiny, and still emerge with dignity and purpose. Her career has spanned decades, from Oscar-winning performances to billion-dollar blockbusters, but her legacy stretches beyond the screen. Jolie redefined what it means to be a celebrity. She showed that fame could be more than self-indulgence. It could be a platform for change. Through her humanitarian work, she has given a voice to the voiceless, inspiring a generation of actors to view responsibility as part of their craft. Yet her story is not without scars. Scandals and heartbreak are etched into her history. But perhaps that is what makes her legacy so powerful. She is not remembered for perfection, but for resilience. The journey of Angelina Jolie is proof that greatness is not measured by the scandals we face, but by the compassion we leave behind. CTA. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories.